So today, I want to say, is the 300th day of the war in Ukraine. President Zelenskyy, he's here in Washington, D.C. He's going to address us as member of Congress in just a little while. And truthfully, the issue for me, we could speak about a number of things. It's not what I need to hear from President Zelenskyy. That has never been the issue. He is brave. He has been steadfast in his defense of his country. I've told people many times before, one of my favorite quotes that I've heard out of Zelenskyy is him saying, you know, if Russians are going to be in the Ukraine, then they're going to be in the Ukraine by themselves because every Ukrainian has fought to the death. That is an amazing statement of leadership. It's so different than what we saw out of the disgraced leader of Afghanistan, Ghani, who just tuck-tailed and ran off. But when you look at this situation and what's going on and why I don't need to hear from Zelenskyy, I'm happy to hear from him, but it's much more important to me that I hear from our own government. What's going on here with the administration, the Biden administration, the intelligence agencies. I've said this all along from the very beginning. The problem is that we're in this situation where we don't have a government that is out there saying, okay, here's what we need to see from Vladimir Putin. Our government is not even saying that he needs to be entirely out of the Ukraine. They're not saying he has to be out of Crimea. They're not saying that there has to be nuclear demilitarization, even though he's elevated his nuclear threat posture, or that there needs to be demilitarized zones along the NATO border. They're not talking about anything that has to actually be done, or that Putin has to be out of power. None of these things are requirements that the Biden administration has put on the table. And this has been something that's been limping on and on and on. I want to say that in the omnibus that will be coming up for a vote either very early in tomorrow morning or sometime tomorrow afternoon, I want to say there's another $45 billion in that omnibus for Ukraine. That's on top of the nearly $40 billion that went to Ukraine previously. I want to say there was another $13.5 billion that went to Ukraine at another point in time. I didn't vote for those dollars to go because, again, there's no plan, there's no strategy in place, there's no tactics that are saying this is exactly what has to, or this is what has to be accomplished, and these are the tactics to get us there and the strategy to get us there. That's not taking place. So it's not about being isolationist. It's not about not supporting freedom or other things. It's about the way that our government is not being diligent with your tax dollars, and in a situation where none of us can say that there is 0% chance of nuclear war because of what is going on. President Biden spoke today, or rather took questions today with Zelenskyy, and he was talking about escalation, saying that, you know, sending a Patriot missile battery is not escalatory. And the fact of the matter is, there should be news for him that anything that we do related to the Ukraine is escalatory. Whether we are helping to isolate them or whether we are working to arm them with offensive or defensive weapons, it doesn't matter. It's all escalatory. And we should be at peace with that. I'm very at peace. We're the United States of America. I am at peace with us escalating if that's what we choose to do. But to have this idea that we're going to be pretending that we're not doing something that we are. If any other country was doing this, this is how we would look at it. We would say, hey, that's, you know, you're arming our enemy, you're doing this, we're imposing sanctions, but you're ignoring them. We would consider all of that escalatory. We need to be at peace with what we're doing and understanding exactly what we're getting ourselves into. But instead, we have been from day one in this situation where we're not fully in and we're not fully out. We're just doing this half-assed, this halfway in, halfway out, and in my opinion, that is the most dangerous thing that we could be doing. In that, I'm headed to the floor of the House. I wish you all the best, and I'll look forward to talking to you all later. Y'all take care.
Going down.